What is up, everybody? Are you in for a treat tonight? Because I am Jeff Marconette Jr., award winning Make Every Second Count speaker and host of this amazing solution oriented program called Make Every Second Count Live. Now, I ask you guys if you would please, please share this episode out. Invite as many people to watch the episode as you can. And don't forget to give us all kinds of thumbs up, hearts, frowny faces, cry faces. Heck, you can even get angry at us. That's all right. We don't mind. Just help us trick the algorithm on Facebook and keep those comments coming. Because I don't know about you, but I'd love to know people are watching with us. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Mr. Big Bob.
Tyler,
What's up?
I'm healthy, out working on the wealthy and wise.
That is fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see you here tonight with me and my viewers. And we're so pumped up because I know that you are going to give some of that secret sauce away and just help people get out of what they're going through so they can reach the other side and become the best them they can be. So, with no further ado, Mr. Big Bob, if you would like to take a second and introduce yourself, tell who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And then I'm going to be inviting some people on my phone at this time. So, if it looks like I'm not paying attention, I am. I'm just doing something else too.
Okay. My name is David Elyashar, founder, chairman of the board, CCP and GG of Big Bob's Outlet, flooring outlet.
Wow.
I live in Kansas City, and I'm 3/4 retired and dedicating most of my free time now to the Be the Best You Foundation and helping other people find their way to a whatever success they're looking for, whatever
That
that looks like. And it looks
that
different
is
for everybody.
amazing. Yeah, that is amazing. I experience a lot of people at times that don't really want to do a lot in life. And while I don't understand it, I need to understand that success does look different for each person. Some people out there might be happy and successful in their life if they just have a family that is fed. And then other people need to be that serial entrepreneur like you are. Some people need to go to work every day and just thrive at work to feel successful. And it's a hard thing to grasp for me to say that success is different for every person, but it really is.
Part of success is knowing when is enough and when is enough not enough. And it changes from each individual and every opportunity with no judging, no judgment here because all of us are different.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you so much for that.
My
So,
pleasure.
we on this show, we like to talk about some of the things that we've gone through. And when I say gone through, I really mean grow through because things oftentimes we have to learn something to get to the other side of certain things. Now, I was in a car wreck when I was 17, I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. They told me that I wouldn't walk again, but I do. And I'm don't just survive now. I am thriving now. And I am helping other people thrive at the same time. But has there been anything in your life that you have had to grow through?
I don't share this often. Matter of fact, this is probably the first time I'm ever going to share this out loud.
Well, thank you very much.
But it's because of the way you asked it. I don't think I ever had to deal with adversity in life. Um, I think everything came very, very easy for me. I have no complaints, no regrets. However, if I had to look back on my life, what were some of the challenges I had to overcome? And I think that's partial to your question. When I was in first grade, I was the best reader in class. Second grade, I was very average. Third grade, I was the worst. And in fourth
Oh,
grade, we don't have a picture. I hope you can see me because
I can.
I can't see you. But in fourth grade, they had me tested to see if I was retarded because I didn't know how to read. So I had to start learning how to read when I was 10, 11 years old. I was held back in fifth grade. At the same time, my parents were going through a very ugly divorce. I was the oldest of five. Two of my siblings were still in diapers. Parents got a divorce. My dad took custody of the five kids. And so the stigma of the divorce, believe it or not, was more traumatic, because this is back in the early 60s, was more traumatic than being held back in fifth grade. I didn't realize at the time that I was dealt a challenging hand. It was just what I had to survive. And I did. And I always pushed forward. I was fortunate enough to find salvation in sports. And with sports came all the after school activities, because otherwise I was a juvenile delinquent, probably being put away for something that I shouldn't have done. And I got lucky that we didn't get caught too many times. But I had a troubled youth. All right. But I'll tell you the breakthrough moment for me, because I recall it clearly. It was 50 some odd years ago.
Oh, wow. And you still recall it?
Absolutely. Let me share it with you. I looked at my life and the trajectory of where I was headed with my life. And I looked at the end point and I didn't like it. I didn't like the path that I was going to end up being on, the path that I was on and where that path led to. And so I made a conscious decision, 21 years old, that there will be no more excuses, no more explanations for failure, for shortcomings and disappointments. I was going to take control of the path I chose for my life. I was going to dedicate myself to a better standard of excellence, both in my core values and my actions. And I was going to be as fulfilled as possible. And I got very lucky. I worked hard. I got very lucky. And things turned out fantastically well for me. Family means everything. I have a very healthy family, both my children, my in-laws, my daughter-in-laws, grandchildren, my siblings. Parents are both deceased. But family is my rock that I lean back on. And you said before, if everybody had a family, I got a family. How much luckier could I be? And so with that, I move forward every day.
That is amazing. So what do you think it was that caused that moment? That turn in your mind to actually become more? How can you how should a person tell someone else that they can become more, that they just need to make that switch?
50 years ago, I'm going to project because I don't remember. But in a year-old man's body and mind, I'm going to project what the 20-year-old said to himself. And he said, this is not who I want to be. This is not where I want to go. I don't want anything to do with this path. And the only way I'm going to get on is make my own decisions that prevent me from making more mistakes. Because with every choice comes a consequence. And I didn't like the consequences of my bad choices.
Yeah. So, may I ask, what kind of bad choices were you making?
I could have easily been in jail. I could have easily been an addict. I could have easily been a bum. I had all the excuses and opportunities to make bad decisions. I just chose at age 21 that no more crutches, no more excuses. That's not who I want to be. I'm going to take control of my own life.
That is awesome. Now, we do have some people watching with us in the comments. We have Charles Coach Chuck Prenson, who's watching us from the islands, or he says the islands. He is from Hawaii, so he will also be with us at Becoming the Best You of Kansas City. And then we have Bailey Layman Kamara he's from Sierra Leone, Africa. And then we have Isabel Luz Camacho Black, who's watching us from Metro, Kansas City. And then we have Charlotte White, who's watching us, and I forget where she's from. I'm sorry, Charlotte. And then we also have Otis Togba Tarwo he is from originally from Liberia, but he lives in Rwanda at the moment. I met him in Kenya, Africa. So we thank you guys so much for watching. Charlotte is in Dallas. Isabel just told me. Thank you, Izzy. I appreciate that very much. So we have quite a few people watching with us right now, and it's very enlightening to have so many people on here. But I personally know that some of these people have issues in their lives. Now, we might not see those issues on social media. They might not show those issues. And a lot of people don't show issues on social media. But on this show, I like to show everybody that everyone has issues.
Everybody has value also. Everybody has values and everybody has challenges to overcome.
Yeah, that's very true. So when you were saying that everybody has issues they need to overcome, how would you suggest they go about dealing with some of these issues? Let's say it's hard to get a job because they live in Africa and the jobs just aren't there, and they're having issues with that, making money to buy food. How would you suggest to them that they should make money?
Jeff, I can't relate. I cannot relate to someone living in a society where there's no opportunity. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've just never, because I've been blessed to live in America, I've never had to deal with no opportunities, hopelessness. But I will tell you this, before I was 23 years old, I volunteered to work for the company I wanted to work for no pay twice. Twice I went up to the company that I wanted to work for and said, I'll work for you for free if you give me an opportunity. Now, I understand that no grown-up is going to make a 22-year-old kid work for free. But that's what they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear that you were willing to work for free. You wanted the opportunity. You wanted the ground to prove yourself, that your work ethic, your core values would surpass anybody else that they might have given the job to. Right? So I don't know if that works in Africa, but that worked for me 50 years ago here in the United States.
Yeah. All right. But let's say that somebody is going through stress at work. How would you suggest they go about that?
All right. I have a long answer about stress. I hope you'll
Go for it.
indulge me. All right. From the day you're born, you put an imaginary knapsack on the back of on your back. And every time there's a disappointment, a frustration, you put a little pebble into your knapsack. You don't get picked to play on the soft fall off bicycle and scrape your knee. You might put another little stone into your knapsack of stress, disappointment, frustrations. However, when you don't get asked out to prom, it might be a rock. When your parents get a divorce, it might be a bigger rock, maybe a boulder. When you're in a car accident and your whole life is turned upside down, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to anyone who's overcome what you had to overcome. Hold on. But periodically, you have to take your knapsack off, put all the crap on the table, and say, who cares that I was the last one picked for the kickball team? Who cares that I didn't get invited to the prom? I'm an old person now. I don't need to be carrying around this stress and baggage. Now, I was in a car accident, and it was devastating, and it changed my whole life. But I'm not going to carry that weight around with me at the same level of burden. I'm going to have to deal with it. Reality. And so what you do periodically is you throw away your histories of pain, frustration, and stress. Because if you don't, stress finds the weakest part of your body and will destroy it. If you have a weak ear, you're going to get an earache. If you're prone to cancer, the cancer will grow. If you have a hangnail, the hangnail will have, whatever the weakest part of your body is, this stress will destroy you from within. So you have to learn to deal with the stress. If the stress is money, you have to learn how to deal with the stress. If the stress is with health, you have to learn how to deal. Whatever the issue is, if you don't deal with it, it will kill you. Figuratively and literally.
Yeah, that is very true. But what are some ways that you have learned to deal with stress?
Prioritizing.
Okay.
How big of a problem is this really? Is this something I can overcome? Is this something momentary? Is this something permanent? Is this something that I can accept, or is this something that I have to make huge changes for? And because every action has a reaction and every action has a consequence, you have to think it through before you do it. You can't just act. You can't be impatient when you're overcoming the biggest obstacles in life. You have to have a plan, and then you have to execute the plan and hold yourself accountable for the plan. Life is not for the weak. You got to be strong. And if you're not strong, you're going to get run over every day. You have to have a plan and then execute it.
Yeah, that is more great advice. But I have to ask, like, how do you develop that plan? I'm
trial and error.
asking the
Well,
tough ones.
mentors, friends who are not trying to use you, manipulate you. There's nothing in it for them. They want to help you be successful, reach your potential, be the best you can be, and will help put you on the path that you still remember. You have to execute the plan. You're entitled to absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's on you, your shoulders, to make your life more meaningful, your life more fulfilled, your potential enlightened. You can't rely on anybody to do anything for you that you're not prepared to do for yourself.
Yeah.
You got up and walked. Jeff, you got up and walked. Now, you might have had some help. You might have had a lot of PT, but you had to tough it out and you had to get up and do it.
Yeah.
Nobody could make you walk but you.
No. It's like I have a group on Facebook. It is called Make Every Second Count Mission. Now,
Right.
if you allow me just a second here, darn it, I want to read to you something I have here in this group. Come on. All right.
I can't. Is darn it profanity?
No.
Okay, because I try not to use too much profanity on the air.
All right.
Darn it.
Well, you're all right.
Thank you.
So, darn it, come on. Where's
Yes, I
this?
darn it again.
All right. So, every day in my group when I post a post, I put remember that you are in complete control of your life. And that means that you are also in control of your happiness. So stop relying on others to make you happy. Take some responsibility and do it for yourself.
Not some responsibility. Take all the responsibility. Take all the responsibility for your own happiness.
Yeah.
Make the right friends. Make the right friends. Hang out at the right church. Do the right activities. Do the things that can make you healthy. Eat healthy. Exercise. Whatever it is, you have to take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. We have Isabel in the comments saying we must be our first and number one advocate. I'm with you, Big Bob. Well,
I
she
couldn't
said
agree
David.
more. I could not agree more. It is up to each. You can't take care of your family, your friends, or the people that are closest to you if you're not in a healthy position. You have to be strong, healthy before you can help other people. It might be emotional health. It might be physical. You can't help other people if you're weak. You have to be strong for yourself first.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I thank you so much for telling me that. I had never looked at that we need to take all the responsibility. And I have take some responsibility, but I think that can mean different things to different people. So I think it actually works the way I have it, but I see your point.
Now, let me clarify. You can delegate. You can empower other people to do things for you, right?
Yeah.
You can find helpers along your path. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself, but it's
Yeah.
your responsibility to make sure everything lines up for you. You got to take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah. Right on. So I would like to let you know that we're here every Tuesday night, everybody. We're here to help you because I know life has its ups, has its downs. Even heck, it might go through a corkscrew at times, but you have to keep pressing on. And this show is there to show you guys that you can press on because all these guests that I bring onto the show, including myself, have pressed on. I've kept going through that issue that they've had.
Jeff, you know what I do when I get a little sad or depressed?
No.
Eat some Grater's ice cream.
Sounds good to me.
I have it shipped in because we don't have Grater's ice cream in Kansas City. So I have to have it shipped in. The world's best ice cream. And so that's how I get over my bad days.
That is amazing. Guys, get Grader's ice cream shipped in.
Mocha chocolate chip. Yeah,
Mocha chocolate chip. Well, I wouldn't like that flavor, but oh well. It's all right. So we thank you guys so much, and we want to remind you that I want to remind you that you have to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Thank you, Mr. Big Bob. And I hope you have a great evening. I have a meeting, and so do you, in about 3 minutes. So we're going to get to that. And I'm cutting this show a little short. So you guys have a great evening. Thank you again, Mr. Big Bob.
Jeff, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for sharing your platform with me.
You're very welcome. Thanks.